up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the obviously authentic channel. My name's Leah, that's spelled L-E-A and not L-E-A-H. Y'all, this is going to be my review on part 2 of Real Housewives of New Jersey's reunion. If I forget anything, I am really sorry, but I'm trying to pack. I leave tomorrow to go see my sister, and this will be the first time I've been to the airport since the panorama, really, and really the lockdown, because I went to go see her before the lockdown, but this is really before the I ain't been nowhere. And I'm like, I didn't realize how hectic it was to pack. And it's like, it's weird because I'm like, it's like I forgot how to pack to go to the airport. I don't know, y'all. So I've been cleaning, washing clothes, and trying to get ready to leave tomorrow to make my flight on time. So I really wasn't able to take notes. But hopefully I don't forget everything. In this review, I really just want to talk about, Jen versus Jackie, Melissa, and Margaret. And then they touched on Dolores. And then we got Theresa versus Jackie. So it picks up where it left off, where Jen is like smirking after she's like, Margaret's the one who started the rumor. Honestly, I really do think Margaret started the rumor, because when I look over like the season, and especially like the episode where the girls were at her house talking, it makes me like her reaction, like how shook she was at Evan's party, was like, are you really about to tell this tea? And it wasn't like, no, like, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird because her first thing on that episode was like, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of it. And I'm just like, why didn't you just go tell Jackie what Theresa was doing? I don't know. I do think she started it. Or if she didn't start it, she definitely knows who did, and definitely knows like how long the rumor's been out there, because the guys come out and they have a discussion with the guys, and Jen just says it, and then Joe was like, no, I hear all of the women talking, and that was a good way of deflection. But Jackie was getting on my nerves, because Jackie was like, there's rumors about you too, Jen, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, Jackie, then say them. And because my thing is like, if there were rumors, then say the rumors. There probably aren't really any rumors. And my thing is like, for you to be like, Jackie wanted to like throw everything on Jen, where she was like, you try to throw Joe under the bus. No, she didn't. They played the clip. Like, Joe willingly gave up that information, so you can't be that mad at him being like, oh, she was trying to start something, when it's like, no, mad at Jen, because it's like, he said what he said. So I think my thing with Jackie, Melissa, and Margaret, they're trying to get this unified front against Theresa, Jen, and Dolores. But the issue is that, like, I really do believe Margaret is the snake, because I definitely believe she said that comment about Joe, him not paying people, because we've all seen like physical proof of him stealing people's stealing people's like work, and trying to say like, oh, this is I did this landscaping, or I remodeled this home, when it doesn't even, like, the driveway doesn't match what you said you did. So I'm just kind of like, just like, they just don't want to admit that Jen is right, because they don't like Jen. So then they get to the topic about the whole like sexual harassment. Theresa sounded stupid. She really sounded stupid. But I got where Jen was coming from, where Jen was like, Margaret is condescending. And Margaret is condescending because Margaret thinks she's smarter than Jen and Theresa. And I thought it was crazy how Theresa was like, yeah, you just want to get me back for the whole hair pulling thing. And then Margaret was like, no, I don't. And I'm like, Margaret, like, you kind of do. That's why you've been making snide remarks about Theresa being dumb. And then Margaret was like, no, Theresa plays dumb. But I was like, even if she plays dumb, you still be calling the lady stupid. And I mean, Theresa does have her stupid moments, because the way she reacted about the whole sexual harassment thing was stupid. Like, things happen to people, male, female, or anybody who identifies in between. And if someone's in a position of power where they can make you lose your job, some people don't have the willpower to be like no and walk away from that situation, or they can't afford to walk away from that situation. So her whole thing was like, no one would touch me unless I wanted them to. Yes and no. People still can cross a line with you. Sexual harassment doesn't have to be them touching you. It could be lewd comments. It could be those types of things. But like, I don't know. Theresa just sounded dumb. And then Margaret got in her feelings because she was hurt because I guess she gave the ladies her book. And Jim was like, I read the book. And Dolores was like, did you hear that? She said she read it. And then Jim was like, but then I fell asleep and I just didn't say nothing. And I was like, bruh, I don't know. It's been rumblings in the jungle that like the ladies want Jen off the show. And I'm kind of like, no. I like, to be honest, I don't stand anyone. So that means like I'm not like Team Theresa, Team Margaret, Team Jackie, or anybody. But Jen is needed for this show. Jen's mouth is needed for this show. Like, without Jen, this mess would be boring. It really would. Without Jen or Theresa, this show would be boring. Like, you could get rid of Melissa and bring somebody else in, and the show would still flow. You could get rid of everybody except Theresa, since the show is technically built around Theresa. Then they brung up Dolores. Dolores talked about her situation with David. I didn't know they had been together for 4 years, but David has been married. That kind of makes sense. That's why he really isn't like vying to get married. He has 4 children. Dolores says she has like a really good relationship with him, with the 4 kids. But he hasn't been married for 14 years. I think David is at the point where it's like, girl, why can't we just be like Oprah and Stedman and just be boyfriend and girlfriend to the day we die and just cohabitate together? But I was happy to hear Dolores say like, if they were to get engaged and if they were to get married, that like she had critiques, like, well, requirements, I should say, like there would be certain changes that he would have to do in order for their relationship to work. So the men come out, it's cute or whatever. And then we get to Jackie and Theresa. So, I don't know. I'm definitely, like, I am on Jackie's side because I think what Theresa did was wrong. And it was out of pocket for her to be at that man's birthday party, spreading a rumor at the party about him. But I also didn't like Jackie, the way Jackie was acting at the reunion. Like, she had so much, like, oomph and bark for, like, Jen and Theresa, but, like, didn't have it during the show like that. And then I was kind of with Theresa where she was like, she's not, like, strong because she cried about it. Where, to me, crying is not a sign of weakness. My thing about Jackie was like, Jackie never hit Theresa until they were at the beach house where she was like, did you learn that in jail? Like, that was a hit in the gut. And then it was crazy that, like, I knew why Theresa spreaded the rumor, and it was all because the way Jackie brought up the jail when she first came on the scene, and then when she kept spreading, like, talking about how Theresa might be seeing somebody and her divorce wasn't finalized from Joe. So, like, it pissed Theresa off. So that's why she spreaded the rumor at the party. So, like, it was tit for tat, basically. I did, however, feel bad for Gia when Gia was like, it was messed up because I guess because she made the statement, because Margaret made the comment where she was like, everybody knew it was an analogy. And Theresa was like, no, they didn't. And then they showed the Watch What Happens Live footage of when Gia was on Watch What Happens Live. And Gia was like, it was disgusting because I guess she almost got kicked out of her sorority. They were trying to set up meetings to see if she was okay. Like, a lot of stuff happened to her. And then I could tell Jackie kind of felt bad because Evan even touched her shoulder to be like, ooh. Because I don't think Jackie realized, like, how her words really affected the situation. Even though, like she said, it was an analogy, which I believe it was an analogy. But the issue is like when it comes to reality TV, people who watch reality TV, or I won't say majority of the people who watch reality TVs can think for themselves, but then you have others who will take something and run with it and won't say nothing, like will just take it as fact and not really analyze the information that was given. So I was like, oh my goodness. I felt bad for Gia. Like at first I didn't, because I was like, well, it probably wasn't that serious, but to find out that like all that other stuff was happening where like the school was looking at her funny, that sucks. So I was like, so Jackie felt bad. And then like, they ended up like hashing it out. I would say this part 2 wasn't as eventful as part 1. Cause like it wasn't focused on Jen versus Margaret and Melissa and Jackie, but it was mainly Theresa versus Jackie. And I don't think Theresa wanted to like prolong it. Neither did Jackie, because Jackie was just like, the way they, at the end, it kind of like, they wrapped a pretty bow on the situation, because they both basically like somewhat apologized to each other, and then they washed their hands clean of it. Evan even got up when the men were being escorted off and like kissed Theresa on the cheek and told her he was happy for her that she was with Louis. So I was like, was it really that serious? Because when Jackie was like, you hurt them, like hurt someone I love, like something, and I'm like, is he really hurt by it, or is it you that's hurt by it? Because although it was wrong, like no buts about it, like what Theresa did was wrong, it has always seemed to me throughout this whole entire like situation that Jackie is more affected by this rumor than Evan. Like, yes, Evan is upset, but he's not that upset, because the fact that he got up and kissed kissed Theresa on her cheek, I was like, if someone started a rumor about me like that, I would feel some type of way. Like, it would be like, we could be cordial, but I'm not getting up to kiss you on the cheek and tell you I'm happy that you found your new man. So I'm just like, I don't know. Also, I think Theresa is lying about her saying she was faithful the whole time Joe was in jail. If she was, she dumb. Because he ain't never been faithful to you. Because I'd have been out here. So I don't know what that's about. Don't know. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know what that's about. So it was cute. At the end, Louis showed up and they toasted, and that was it. It wasn't really a lot. Like I said, the first part of the reunion, part 1 was way better. If I had to rate this season because of the Panasonic or the Panini, I would give this season a solid like B minus, like a 80, like a solid like a 80, like a solid 80. Which would be considered like a B or a B minus. Because I think with the fact of them having, all of this going on, and then on top of that, they also, it was a shorter season. It still was a pretty decent season, especially compared to Real Housewives. But I also think that has to do with production. Whatever production that they have filming that works with Real Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of Atlanta needs that. Because New Jersey, it was made, and I think the issue with Atlanta as well is that the season was too long. I think everybody's season. Gosh, I cannot speak. I think every season, especially with Atlanta, I think Atlanta should have been 15 episodes like this season was, because the Real Housewives of New Jersey was short, but it got to the point. And like we did have like maybe 1 or 2 filler episodes, but out of 15 episodes, 2 or maybe 3 filler episodes is way better than what we got with Real Housewives of Atlanta. But yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all. I hope I talked about everything. If I didn't, I apologize. But if drop in the comments, let me know what your thoughts about the both reunions. Like, who was your MVP? My MVP was Jennifer. And are you excited for next season, or do you think they should add somebody new or something like that? Or does there need to be a shakeup like they're doing at Real Housewives of Atlanta? But yeah, remember to be bravely authentic, and I'm out. Deuces.